We're joined now by Bruno Lete, a senior fellow from the German Marshall Fund. Thanks very much for speaking with us here on Euronews. We've got Antony Blinken, who is, very much aligned to Europe. He's lived in Europe. He speaks French. Would it be too simplistic to say that he's definitely going to give Europe an easier time than what the Trump administration has done?
Well, thank you for this question. Biden's pick are all true transatlanticists, people that believe in the value of US-EU relations. So the major change will be the tone in which the US and Europe will communicate. Mutual respect will likely lead to a reset of transatlantic relations. Already we hear that both sides of the Atlantic are speculating to hold an EU-US summit or a NATO summit next year. Biden's first phone calls as president-elect was also with European leaders. So that is very much telling indeed.
Now, when we look at who Donald Trump was friendly with, in terms of the populist leaders in Europe, it was the likes of Poland's Duda, Hungary's Orban. Are we going to see a change in that relationship under Biden? Is he going to take a tougher line here?
Well, there are a couple of things that will change for sure. I mean, first of all, we will see American return to multilateralism, which will mean a greater appreciation for international arrangements and the role of organizations such as the G20, NATO, or the European Union. But getting back to your question, what we can also expect from US foreign policy is that it will be much more driven by values, liberalism, democracy, which will probably mean a greater US opposition to countries like Russia or other countries that do not necessarily uphold these values. So those US relationships with these countries may not necessarily improve very well under Biden.
Well, then let's just turn from values to defence, because under Donald Trump, there was the announcement that troops are going to be pulled out of Germany, much to the happiness of Poland, who found out that the US was going to reposition some of the troops there. Is that something we can expect to continue, or is Joe Biden going to just rip up that order?
In any case, what we can expect is that the United States will seek renewed leadership inside NATO. So there is a great appetite to strengthen this transatlantic defense cooperation component. However, this does not mean that we are heading for a honeymoon. We should not think about that. Like previous US administrations, Biden will still insist that Europeans invest more in their own defense and that they take more responsibility inside NATO. So yes, we are looking at a prospect for a much warmer US-EU relationship in the field of defense, but Europeans should not get ahead of themselves either.
What do you mean by that? Why shouldn't they get ahead of themselves?
Look, as I said, we are looking at a new administration with great expectations, especially after the Trump era. But I think, for instance, again, we had the same feeling when President Obama came in. We thought here in Europe that US-EU relations would greatly improve. But the United States is a global power. It has interests on all corners of the world, not only in Europe. So it also means that even though Biden will be a president engaging with Europeans must also still increase their own role in defense and NATO cooperation.
Bruno Lete joining us there from the German Marshall Fund. Thank you very much indeed.